Hey guys, it's the Texan talking here, and I am here with my wonderful co-host Rios. But today we got a special guest. We're doing a pregame show. We got a guest, Ryan from BAM Sports. Let him know what's up, Brian.
Yo, yo, yo. Glad to be on here with you guys. It's going to be
There you
fun
go.
talking some Bears for a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. Texans versus Bears today in about 30 minutes or so. So we figured, hey, let's have some Bears fans here and let's talk a little bit Bears versus Texans. So Ryan, what are we? Start off with you. Where do you want to predict? What do you think the score will be today?
Oh, we're going to go right into the score. I think it's going to be a low scoring affair. Super windy up there, 15 to 20 miles sustained winds, 30-mile-an-hour gusts, and Chicago is notoriously bad for windy games. So I think it's going to be a defensive featured game. I think Bears come out on top. I think they got a little bit more juice in their defense. Again, I haven't watched much Texans though.
Right.
I think it ends up being something like 10-6 or 14 or 13-9 or something. I don't see
Right.
many touchdowns being scored.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you on that one. The last time I remember seeing it at the game at Soldier Field, I think we were talking a little bit off air, was when the Texans went again. The last time they went to Soldier Field was, I think, 2014 with like Arian Foster, Matt Schaub, and all that. And it was even then having Arian Foster, who was like still our best running back. It was a completely low scoring game, even, including the weather, because it was like there was a lot of sleet, like you said, and it was just a very low scoring game. So I'm expecting that today. And at the time we had a decent defense, and just like this year we have a, not the obviously not the worst defense, but that's probably our only asset that our team has right now is the defense.
I like your running back, that rookie.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Damian Pierce. I'm hoping that he gets fed today, but and that's the only reason why I'm thinking it's going to be a low scoring game, because our team has the tendency to just give it to Rex Burkhead the entire time and not share the load with
Talk about
Damian
a guy
Pierce.
that has made the most out of a career, Rex
Right,
Burkhead.
exactly. And so that's why we're thinking it's going to be like that. I honestly, and this is me being as honest as possible, I think we're going to take the loss as well, just for that reason, because I right now, as Texans, we are not really trusting David Mills's decision making skills, and his accuracy. So
Awareness.
more on that, Rios. Go for it, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, this dog is very needy. She's wanting to play right now. But no, so I was looking at the Vegas over under, and they had it at 39. Yeah, there's no way this game gets that many points.
Is it still at 39?
Yeah, this was looking at the report as of this morning. It's still that way. Yeah, there's no way these two teams combine for 39 points.
I don't see it, but
No, me neither.
Yeah,
crazier things have happened.
Right.
The Giants are 2-0. So
Watch it be
Exactly.
like 45, like the 56 or
It's a
something like that.
blowout.
No,
Such a high scoring game.
No, I'm in the same boat as you guys. It's going to be low scoring. The wind is going to make it hard to throw the ball. I mean, these two teams don't really. I know the Bears, from what I've seen, they don't throw it a lot. I mean, they should let Justin Fields throw it a little bit more. But hey, if the ground game is working, it's working. And I think they have a better running attack than we do. So it's
You say that, but so I went to the Bears at Packers last week, and so watching live the defense and watching just, I think it was more to do with the game plan against Aaron Rodgers, because it's Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, we had so many open lanes for the running backs to just run all over it. I think we gave up 212 yards rushing. And so I think that you've got the talent at running back between those guys, that if you keep the ball on the ground and just pound away, you could come away with a win. But I don't see it myself. But yeah.
Yeah. No, agreed. I was
and needs to be, get the ball to Pierce, because if Davis Mills throws more than 15 passes, we're not winning this game.
Yeah,
we're not winning this game. He's throwing the ball more than 15 times.
We are missing our number one cornerback, Jalen Johnson. He's out. They just put out the inactive lists for today. So Bears are without Jalen Johnson, Matt Adams, Dane Cruikshank, who wasn't a big. He's a rotational piece on our defense, and it looks like you guys are out. Yedam, Yedam, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Cornerback. I don't know who that is. Jake Hansen, Austin Decklis, and Kurt Heinisch. I don't. Those aren't starters though, are they?
No, they're not. They're mainly like they kind of just go in and fill in here and there. But I don't. As far as injuries, surprisingly, we're fine. I honestly, and so I'm looking at the highest percentage of passes that are off target, and I'm looking at Justin Fields at the highest at 28.6% off target passes. A prediction that I told my guys last week, this past week, I was like, you know what? I think we have a rookie corner, Derek Stingley, who
he's very good.
He's very good. I made the case that during that Broncos game against Russell Wilson, I knew that he plays aggressively, which is great. This is what you want to see. He has a dog in him, as they say. But I know that once he got penalized, like his performance, it's not because he can't. I know that he just kind of like tried to calm that down.
Took the foot off the gas a little.
Right. Yeah, he did. And that kind of affected how he played at some points. I saw that, they were saying Cortland Sutton was like running all over him, and we're over here like, maybe not. Context. So I'm predicting he gets his first interception this game against Justin against your quarterback. That's my prediction here. Maybe his first one, just for that same reason.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see it. Fields has not looked like he's made good decisions this year.
Right.
Against the 49ers week 1, the second half, which is the biggest thing for me as a Bears fan. We went through 4 years of Matt Nagy. They never made adjustments at halftime. The last 2 games, they have made adjustments at halftime. 49ers shit all over them, in the first half last week, or Packers last week, and then they held them to only 3 points in the second half. They make adjustments, but Fields has he hasn't looked very good other than the second half of week 1. Again, it's week 3. Early. There's a lot of time. Early.
I mean, the Packers have a good defense, so that's part of it also.
Yeah. I hate that team so much.
I bet.
I'm sure.
That was also Peyton Manning and Colts for a good decade plus.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't like them too much either after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. T.Y. Hilton made our stadium his home, so that was not good because he kept scoring.
I'm surprised they didn't miss that one game. You know what? Come on, retirement. We got you, fam. Get your 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm predicting. Again, I'm predicting also like going back to our quarterback. I don't think he's going to shine. I told the guys, I was like, I'm hoping that he's able to look back at last week's film, because he made a lot of. I think that's probably his worst game that he's played last week. He had a few, like his longest throw was 24 yards or something like that, Rios?
It was 22 on those.
22.
It was like on a crossing to Brandon Cooks, but that was mostly yards. It wasn't Mills.
Right. It wasn't like air yards.
Yeah, exactly. So if the Bears defense is able to provide pressure against Davis Mills, he gets those happy feet. Once he gets those happy feet, he starts making those awful throws, those bad decisions, and they're going to get to him. That's what I'm predicting there too.
And that is one of the things about the Bears is we don't blitz a lot, but we have the personnel to get to the quarterback. I mean, we got to Rodgers a whole bunch last week. Made him frustrated. I can see but second year guy.
Right.
Bad weather conditions. It's a recipe.
Yeah. It's gonna be beautiful, just windy.
Yeah. It looks nice. It's just going to be windy. And again, over here in Texas, we're burning up because it's, again, 88 degrees, feels like 96. Yeah. So that's. So, I don't think our boys are used to that up there. So
it's a vacation for them.
Yeah,
like, oh, man, we don't want to go home. It's 68 degrees here.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So no, I think the pressure's going to get to him. Unfortunately, I hope I get proven wrong though. That's what I want. But
I don't
you
see
know,
that.
yeah, I
Somebody,
hope him that he.
somebody's got to lose this one, right? I don't think this one would end in a
Of course.
tie.
You know, I
You know
guess the
what?
Colts apparently.
Watch it end in a 3-3 tie
Oh
because you know
God,
what?
that'd be the worst.
Oh man.
But
Oh
I
man.
told you, I
They would
was
just
telling you
take
guys
that
I love
off the
soccer.
TV.
Yeah, just might as
They're
well.
gonna, they're gonna
Yeah.
switch it to another game.
Yeah, it was frustrating. Like I was telling them because the game against the Colts was a very winnable game. We underestimated not underestimated. We overhyped that Colts defense. Our
Oh,
first game
man.
because last year they were incredible, and then this year, this year they were
We
they were
took their
terrible.
soul. We took the soul
Yeah.
of that team.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
And-
Eberflus and Alan Williams, who were both instrumental in that
right.
defense. So
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I gave them a goose egg last week, 24-0.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
saw a stat about that game that the Colts have lost 8 in a row at home in Jacksonville.
Correct.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so funny that there's just sometimes there's those teams that struggle.
You got your number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They got your number. Exactly. And so yeah, that was a interesting part. I was like, I really thought that Colts defense would completely, we were expecting a complete blowout.
I think most people were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was one of them.
Yeah. And then we go against and then I was like, wow, that was when you look back at it, so it was such a winnable game. But again, we start freezing up in the fourth quarter because since our offense isn't able to produce as much, our defense gets tired. So
Yep.
by the fourth quarter, if any, and it's been constant for the last 2 games because it happened against the Broncos for us as well. We made Russell Wilson look pretty bad. That those first 3 quarters, the first half, I apologize, and then the second half, he came back and like with a vengeance and just started tearing up our defense. So he adjusted, which is what he's supposed to do, but it just made us look bad. And then our offense wasn't doing us a favor by scoring points or whatever, keeping our defense out of the field for such a long time. It was just like 3 and out. That's it.
Same thing last week with the Bears.
Yeah. It's so our teams are pretty similar in that situation, I guess, because it's just I think out of the whole game last week, we had probably 1 or 2 good drives, and that's it. We didn't have much of anything.
Sounds like the Bears last week.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst part is that our quarterback, we didn't score any touchdowns. It was all field goals. So that's another issue. And
Can't
one
win
of
a game
them
that way.
Can't win
Except
a
for
game
this
with just field
weekend,
goals.
maybe.
This week,
This week might be the week to do it, but
yeah. And so that's been the problem. These winnable games have been we've been either tying them or taking a loss on them. So I was just telling the guys, can you imagine when we go against like the Chiefs or a really good team? But like it's
they're
gonna be
gonna
awful.
switch the game off TV by halftime. It's gonna be like 56-0.
I don't even think they would start their starters at that game, would they? The Chiefs?
Probably.
Well, because
Yeah,
I think they in the middle of the season, so they can't rest the starters.
That's true.
Yeah, it's
they could probably play their B team and still win. I mean, that's.
I'm looking at your. So I'm more of again, I'm a longtime diehard Bears fan. I'm born in '85. So born in the Super Bowl era for the Bears. So I've always paid attention more to defense, and so when I scout another team, I look at what the other team's offense does. And I'm looking, and Dameon Pierce right now, it's 3.9 yards per average. Burkhead 2.9. You'd have to think they start shifting more towards Pierce. 2.9 is not going to be and
but week 1, Burkhead had 72% of the snaps.
He did.
I'm like,
that was awful.
He's also got 11 targets on the season versus 2 for Pierce, and that's like his calling card, right?
Right.
Also, until week 1, I thought Rex Burkhead had retired. I didn't know he was still in football.
Same.
It was one of those names that popped up, and I go, "Oh, he's still around."
It looked that way. It looked that way. It was like, I think we're done with Rex Burkhead. Nope, he's back.
He was the workhorse last year, which was again, those were two words I never want to hear put together. Workhorse
No.
running back and then Burkhead. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
Huh.
he's
Yeah.
trying to make a career out of the James White,
course.
career trajectory.
Of course, and honestly, I wouldn't blame him because if we were on the same position, why wouldn't
No,
you? You know?
yeah, exactly. Like
That's
like
it's like,
Chase
Chase Daniel.
Daniels. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chase Daniel.
yeah, exactly. Chase Daniels. Yeah, exactly. He
The
made a career out of it.
Yeah.
He's still making a career out of it.
Like
Yeah,
40 million
exactly.
a career, he's throwing less than 100 passes. Like, man, I should have played quarterback. Like, what was I playing defense for? I should have been a quarterback.
Good enough to be a backup is
But
good
not
enough
good
for
enough
me.
to start.
It's good enough. Yeah, exactly.
I
He's
get
going to be
Man.
fine after his career. He's not going to be injured and banged up.
No.
Like,
No.
You could be an analyst at that point.
yeah, exactly.
Analyst coordinator.
ex-
Man,
Yeah, I was watching right now. I was watching this thing on ESPN. I saw like was it the coach for the Jets, Rex?
Rex
Sorry, I
Ryan.
can think of the name.
Rex
Thank
Ryan.
you, Rex Ryan.
Yep.
And so like I'm looking at him, I'm like, this guy is like, he's a character, number one. And then I was looking at him and he's like making points about Brady, like how he faced him, because they're doing a thing on Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady right now. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, that guy, like you got fired so many times, and then like now you're just completely, that's the NFL. Like you can get fired and another team gets you. Yeah.
Football royalty with that family though. Like
Yeah,
his dad
exactly.
and him and his brother, like
Mhm.
some of
Yeah.
the best defensive minds of like the modern
yeah.
era of football.
Oh yeah.
Also, Rex Ryan is real big into feet. He's a foot guy, and
I saw that.
he made a joke about it on air,
Yeah.
like on ESPN
Yeah, I know.
once, and I have loved him ever since because
I
he
lost
laughed at
him for a
himself.
second. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, owned it at that point. He might as well. Like,
was like, all right, hats off to you, Rex. I can't beat you down about this now.
No.
Nor would I.
Yeah. He Rex Burkhead's a character. He's definitely fun to watch. But yeah, now he's gonna make his thing out of it. I like seeing him when he comes on ESPN or whatever they're doing. It's awesome. Rex Burkhead's entertaining always. Excuse me, Rex Ryan is entertaining always. Sorry.
like what are you doing, sir? Don't give them ideas.
Going back
He's a
though,
workhorse.
to our game, I'm looking
Yeah.
at the defenses, team defense between the two, and they're pretty evenly
Right.
matched. I think it's going to be a very heavy run game today.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm looking, the Bears have had, let's see, where am I at? 75 rushing attempts against 69 for the Texans. Nice.
Right.
Bears are giving up 5.1 yards per
Mhm.
attempt. Texans 4.7. It's, let me see. The Bears have a little more turnover percentage with their defense,
Yeah.
but it's a fairly evenly matched defensive game. Texans are the 10th highest rated defense right now.
Correct.
Bears
Mhm.
are the 12th.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're pretty well matched up. That's why again I
Old
think it
school
goes back to
football
our
game today.
old school football, yeah. Yeah,
But,
and then that's what we're talking about. I think that's the reason why we feel like it's going to be such a low scoring game,
Mhm.
because it is going to be a very defensive game. Like you said, old school football, running backs, just today. I think today we're going to see how good our running back Damian Pierce is really
Mhm.
going to be.
Well,
If of course they give him the workload.
Also,
What's that?
if the staff trusts him, also because
Yeah,
he missed a block last week and they took him on, put Burkhead in for the rest of the game.
That's Lovie Smith for you, man. I have watched Lovie Smith as a Bears coach. Loved him. I don't think they ever
Right.
should have fired him. That was the stupidest thing
Mhm.
I've ever seen. But then I'm also an
Yeah.
Illinois fan, being from Central Illinois.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, we have to deal with Brett Bielema now, or Bielema, or
Okay.
whatever his terrible
Yeah.
coaching name is.
Yeah.
Although they do look good right now. So, but I've seen a lot of Lovie Smith, and like you miss one play, you're in the doghouse. He's
Old school coaching mentality. You miss a play,
Exactly.
on the bench. Man.
Now I haven't seen a picture of Lovie Smith this year. Does he have the beard?
He does.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a majestic.
He
beard.
does.
I'm jealous
It's
of the beard.
magnificent.
That's
Lovie
beard
Smith
magnificent.
beard is the best. That's the best Lovie
Yeah.
Smith.
It's so well done. It's like here, I'm like jealous of it. He's the guy that makes me want to have the grays because
I
of
know.
that.
I got a
Like,
little bit.
it was good.
You know,
You
it's
got
coming in.
you got some.
I'm also in my late 30s though, so I got some
Same.
times.
Yeah, I think Rios, what are you, 94? Is that what you are?
Yeah, 194, but thank you. I appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah,
He
it's
met,
like a
he met
it's like a
Babe Ruth.
tortoise.
Yeah, he's like a tortoise.
Button
He's
here.
got the, we always joke, he looks young for his age. He's got the curious case of Benjamin Button going on. So
I like it.
you age backwards. No, it's gonna be a fun game. Like I'm looking forward to it. It's old school football.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be kind of like that old, like I said, like that game we played against y'all. Like I play 8 years ago.
I always say we,
against-
man.
Yeah, I know. I was
I
like,
visit
we,
money to see. I'm a member. Just give me
Yeah.
help.
Well, see, we
if
can't
I-
say like we typically can't say that against like a Packers fan because
Right.
they
Oh, yeah.
can own
They
part
own-
of the team.
Yeah. But yeah, no, exactly. So definitely it's gonna be a good game. Where do
I think
y'all so yeah, where do y'all see yourselves like how far do you see yourselves getting throughout the season?
So I've said all season I see them as a 7 to 9 win team.
Okay.
They've got the easiest schedule on paper
Mm,
coming into the season, and I think that they've shown so far offensive line wise that they're a lot better than the media has given them credit for. It all comes down
Okay.
to Fields being able to throw the ball. They've
Yeah.
got the defense in place that I think they're a couple of pieces away from being a contender. Just on defense alone, they got a lot of that bend but don't break to them. You know,
Yeah.
they'll let you get down to the 20, but they won't let you get very much further than that.
No end
They'll be
zone.
kicking a field goal. The offense, obviously, it's a working question or a work in progress. But I think that with this schedule, they can win 7 to 9 games. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people as the year goes on. Again, it's going to be against lower ranked teams, but they played the Packers fairly tough last week.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was a pretty decent game.
And especially in the second half, like they made those
Yeah.
adjustments. That's what the good teams do.
Yeah.
You make adjustments in the second half, but it's
Mhm.
just enough last week.
The thing that I'm most excited about is not this season. I'd like to see Fields take that jump. You know, I got my Fields jersey
Right.
on. I want to see him take that jump, that second year jump. Also, just to be completely transparent, I was a fan of
Yeah.
Davis Mills coming out of the draft. If the Bears
know-
were going to go defense like I wanted them to in the first rounds, I was all for Davis Mills in the third. You know, I think you guys have a decently talented quarterback for what you are right now. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Right.
But yeah,
he is sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I
Yeah.
lost what I was going to say.
No, you're fine. You're fine. He is talented. Yes, that we will give him. He is talented. He did seem like a pretty good, coming out of Stanford. I think he was a bit overhyped when people compare him to the next Andrew Luck, but
Well,
obviously it's
yeah.
because the Stanford thing. So far it just last year. For a rookie, he had he was like the best rookie, even outbeating Trevor Lawrence at that point. But then again, Trevor Lawrence had Urban Meyer there, so that kind of brought his
Yeah,
what
his
a
everything down.
fun story that was last year.
Oh,
Exactly.
we keep reading those stories every day. Like, oh my god!
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
It was every day. It was something else.
It was like a soap opera. Like every day was
made
every
for
day was
TV
something
right there,
new.
man.
Yeah, that's a Netflix series coming up for sure.
You
It's
wish-
gotta be on Netflix later on. Yeah,
You wish that would have been the Hard Knocks season, right?
yeah, exactly. Like
That would have been
That would've
TV
been
gold.
great.
Watching
TV
him
gold.
Yep.
kicker. Better.
But what I was going to say, actually, now that I remember it, is I'm more excited
Okay.
about next year. The Bears have almost was like 103 million in cap space next year.
Oh wow, yeah, you guys have a good.
So we're set up good. I think this year you're going to see we've got a good foundation. Again,
Mhm.
7 to 9 wins. I would rather them win less, so we have a higher draft pick. But I
Yeah.
see it as a 7 to 9 win team. I'm just happy to get dubs. I don't care at this
No,
point.
yeah.
We've
For
been
us, yeah.
hurting for a while, so
No,
Same.
I Same. At least at least you guys have some championships that we don't, and that's the thing. But we're fairly new, though.
I was gonna say you're newer.
Yeah, we're newer.
This ain't the
that kinda,
Oilers.
yeah, right. I know that would have been.
We don't
Anyway,
speak that
that's
name
another
anymore.
story. We don't say that name anymore. The Titans, what? No. And so it was. We for the longest time, we thought we had. We thought we had a quarterback with Deshaun, and obviously we all know how that turned out.
You had a
we had-
quarterback in Deshaun.
had, yeah.
It's just
It's just yeah. And
Yeah,
then
for sure.
Hopkins, we had Hopkins at one point, and that
Them for
You
a
know-
half-eaten sandwich in the spirit of David
Yeah.
Johnson, 2016. Like,
so. Actually, I do want to ask you guys about that before we
Sure.
get off of here. So on our
Yeah.
podcast, we talked about it. Do you think that I compare Rob on our podcast is a big Titans fan, and so
Oh, uh-huh.
I compared it to when they traded AJ Brown. Okay, to the DeAndre Hopkins trade. I feel like trading AJ Brown away has just kneecapped the entire Titans organization. And I feel like watching the Texans since they made those trades, do you feel like that did way more damage?
yes.
it's similar.
Yeah.
But, at least the Titans got more in return than the Texans did. The Texans got,
Traylon
David
Burks.
Johnson,
Yeah,
half-eaten sandwich.
that's true. That's true.
So-
Traylon Burks could be good. I just,
Yeah.
It's
You-
gonna take him some time to develop.
yeah.
It's going to take him some time, but at least you had at least if he develops, then that goes well. But for us, it was a guy that was already, especially as a running back,
Mhm.
he was already on the decline. And obviously, when he came in, he showed that he was on the decline already.
He was
Then
what,
they kept-
28, 29?
Yeah, he was on the bad side of a
Yeah.
of a
I
running
think so.
back, and then yeah,
Not
and
just
so
that.
then they kept him. They wanted him to be the 2016 David Johnson, but obviously, even as fans, we knew that wasn't going to be the case. And long story short, it wasn't. And now that DeAndre Hopkins, I think that season DeAndre Hopkins had I think he went ball, he balled out that year.
I think he was like the
with Car-
wide
with Car-
receiver 3 that
Yeah.
year or something.
Exactly. He balled out. So he continued. He was consistent with his ability to play. And then the fact that obviously before Deshaun Watson had came into the Texans, he was still getting those yards with very mediocre quarterbacks, and except for even, I mean,
Nice.
yeah, the only time he really had a year where I think it was below 1,000 yards was when we had Brock Osweiler as
Oh God, the Brock lobster.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was the only time that Hopkins was like, you know what, I'm good, but I can't make you look good at all. He would make
Man,
those quarterbacks look good, and for a guy that
He's made Kyler Murray look good.
he's made Kyler Murray look pretty good. And the thing is, after he left, it was heartbreaking for us, obviously, because we're like,
Right.
why would you do that? It sounded like it was one of those fake memes that DeAndre Hopkins has been traded. I was like, oh, this is funny. And then we realized,
From the
no,
Onion, right?
it's
Like,
real.
We were some friends and I were at Buffalo Wild Wings when that news
Yeah.
came through, and we all thought we were getting like a prank notification.
Yeah.
on our
I was
phones.
at work. I was like, "There's no way this is real." It's probably
Like,
from the
no, that's not right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought the same thing about the Bears trading for Khalil Mack, though, and it turned out to be real. And that was cool.
Yeah.
But
Did y'all like that experiment with Khalil Mack?
I did.
Okay.
It was worth a shot. It was worth.
It was worth a shot.
Yeah.
I saw what they were trying to do. I think they made a bad decision with Trubisky, but then the worst part about that is they did not hire the coaching staff to help him develop.
True. He's well, how do you like now that Trubisky's now in Pittsburgh, do you still feel like it was, how do you call it? Do you think that was still a good choice to pick him or not?
No, I was pounding the table for Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Since
And I think
before,
you guys
that was before we
yeah.
knew who he was. Like, because if you remember that year, Deshaun Kaiser was
Yeah.
like a huge name
Right.
that year. I
Right.
did not want Watson. I didn't.
Right.
I honestly have never really liked him as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want Trubisky. I wanted Mahomes, and I was like, well, there's
Yeah.
no chance that we could trade back and get Mahomes. We don't need to pick at 3. We could pick at 10 and get him, and
Right.
he went at 11.
was taken.
So.
Yeah. Man, that's
But
crazy. What could have been? Right? What could have
Trubisky,
been?
Trubisky, I think, is a fine quarterback. I don't think he's
Yeah.
a world beater. I think he can have less than Tannehill type career. I don't, he's made the playoffs.
Right.
I don't think he's going to take any team far,
Yeah.
but I
Right.
think he's serviceable as a starter.
He's like a bridge
All right.
quarterback, a guy
Yeah.
that you play until you build a team around, and then you look for your quarterback of the future.
Yep.
All right. Well, guys, that's a few minutes
About game
before
time.
kickoff. It's about game time. So, Ryan, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us,
you,
dude.
guys.
We got to have you again on the show whenever.
Yeah.
Talk
I
football.
would love to.
And all
Love
that.
to.
Yeah. So we'll keep in contact and we'll reach out, and then whenever or whatever, whenever you guys want to come on again, we'd love to have you guys again. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate.
Thank you guys for
coming.
having us.
No problem. All right. So go Texans.
Go Bears. Bear down, baby.
Bulls on parade.
Oh, good football game, because this is gonna be terrible to watch.
Let's hope we're all surprised and it's just like a barn
Right.
burner. It's
Let's just say,
amazing.
they defy the Vegas odds to score 60 points combined.
I'm cool there.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. All right, man. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you around. And again, I'll upload this later on. Take care of yourself, man.
See ya.
All right. See y'all.